Right, something scary's just happened. I've got some information that just down the road from where I'm staying, I'm in a place called Lucy Cross, not far from Darlington, and just down the road in a place called Gainford, there is, or was, a major young offenders institution called St Peter's. Now, St Peter's was built by the Catholic Church in 1900, and it was built by the Catholic Church in 1900, and then as an orphanage, and then in 1947 it was turned into an approved borstal, approved by the Home Office, and apparently it had 300 boys there, and these boys were in this place right up until 1984. Now, I've driven past this place a couple of times and I did wonder what it was, and it's a very macabre place. Recently, in 2007, there was a council meeting to decide what to do with the building, and the police were actually in attendance. God knows why. This place is right out in the wilds, and one of the police officers did say that this place something has to be done with this place because it is leaving a stain, a dark stain over not only Durham but also on the village of Gainford. So we're just going to go, me and Lily, we're going to go and have a little drive up there, and we're going to see if we can get in and see what's happening, see if we can, what we want to do with this place is try and give you the kind of atmosphere that we were doing with our children. Now, all you members of the public, it's all very well for you to sit there and you'll be watching this documentary and oh, it's terrible and oh, it's terrible. And recently, because of the government's expenses, which is really quite a triviality when you think about it, compared to child abuse and sadomasochism, you know, torturing children, we all went crackers over that. And now the majority of you will sit there and oh, it's this, but you won't do anything about it. But because the MPs will go and buy a new washing machine or a new TV, it seems like we want to hang them. So I'm going to take you to this place and I'm going to see if I can build up some kind of atmosphere for you to show you what it's like and see what we can find in there. So here we go. St Peter's approved borstal. St Peter's approved school borstal. Approved by the Home Office. Another house of horror. We're talking about a very sadistic regime here. This is St Peter's borstal. It was opened in 1900 and it didn't close until 1984, and it had a capacity for 300 children, and there were 300 children here. And this was a very, very brutal place. Now we're going to take you into the gym and show you something that really does scare us. Now this place has been empty for many, many years, and it's a very opulent area. And when you think about it, why is it being left empty? Now I believe that once you start knocking old buildings down like this, then you're going to come into the excavation, putting new foundations in, etc. And I think that the authorities are concerned about what they may find if they start excavating this building. Now, I'd just like to say this window is open. I'm not breaking in. I'm going to climb in, and then Lil's going to pass me the camera, and then we're going to have a look inside. You follow my torch, Lil. 1962 to 63. Mr. Byron, B-Y-R-N-E, headmaster, dirty, sadistic bastard. Dirty, sadistic bastard. That's what that says. And then the bottom line, Peter Darby, pervert. You fucked our heads up. That is 1962 to 63. Sounds like a very, very scary year. On that wall there, we have, it says 40 years of being head fucked. And then we have, on this wall again, vicious sadist. It says, Jack Stoked, you should be hung. Now, there was one local woman who would talk to us about this, but she's only lived here for 4 years. And she said to me, she said, Bill, she went, every Halloween people come here. I said, what kind of people? She said, I don't know. I don't know if they were victims or I don't know if they were perpetrators or what. She said, but every Halloween people come here, to St Peter's Borstal, ex-Young Offenders Institute. You're going to have to allow for the wind out here. We are in the back garden, if you like. Now that part would be the front. That would be the front of the building. You would come in on the other side of that building. That is the main entrance. That would be reception. Then the kids would all come in here and then they would be brought along to this building. This is the main building. This is the main building. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Would you really like your children or your child? 1984, would you really have liked your child to be brought to an establishment, to a house of fucking horror? You imagine a young child, a young kid coming in here, and what do they see here in 1984, in 1980, in 1970, 75, etc, etc. And so, let's do away with this term historical abuse, and I keep saying it. You're a bad man, Mr. Jack Straw. You're a bad man. We're coming to get you. One of the most powerful politicians in this country at the moment, his brother is on the sex offenders register. Because, boy, Jack, your brother is, as we say, a fucking nonce.
In 2000, Jack Straw's brother, William, was placed on the sex offenders register for 5 years for sexually assaulting a 16-year-old girl. At the time, Jack Straw was overseeing the sex offenders register as Home Secretary. In 2009, as Justice Secretary, Jack Straw has made it illegal for any child currently in care to speak out, even if they feel they are being maltreated.
So there you go, we just had a little mooch around the grounds of St Peter's in Gainford, not far from Darlington. And when I was talking to the people of the village, no one wanted to talk to us. There was one woman who wanted to talk to me, and I said, I'm not going to say her name, I can't say her name. And I said to her, I said, there's a lot of horrible things happening here, isn't there, darling? And she went, yes, Bill, yes, Billy. It's, you know, this place is like, it's got nothing to do with the middle and upper classes. This place purely to lock up detained children, not to rehabilitate them, not to teach them how to lay a brick, not to teach them about electrics, not to teach them how to paint. Fuck all. Teaches them nothing. Because I was in these institutions, and all the people that I was in these institutions with, we came out and we didn't know anything. We didn't know anything. And, you know, this is a fucking Disneyland for the nonces. For all the dodgy prison staff, this was your Disneyland, wasn't it? And do you want to come, if you come around the other side. Now, I can't understand either. This building, as you approach it, from a place called Piercebridge, as you approach it, it just stands on its own. And what I said to you earlier, what they've done to these windows, they put boards over them, and then they've like done this like macabre sort of thing to make them look like windows, and they don't look like windows. And people say to me, oh no, that's to make them look like windows. That don't make them look like windows, that looks like a fucking house of horror, which is what it was. And like I would like to reiterate what the police officer said at the meeting. I'll go under here first.
Stop, Bill.
Right, so what happened there was the police turned up. You know, that place is, we're right in the middle of nowhere. I don't know why the police, like, you know, they seem so keen and interested in this place. Now, I say again, having done a little bit of investigating in there, and I would say again, I'm working up a bit of a sweat here, but I again say, we need to have that place and all the others thoroughly investigated. Don't you agree, Lil?
Yeah, definitely.